In the headlines, President swears Akume in as SGF. Tinubu holds first meeting with Nigerian Governors Forum. Fear grips Niger community as abductors of farmers threaten to kill captives. Nigerians seek palliatives to ease suffering as subsidy removal takes toll on commuters and business owners. And on the foreign scene, at least 21 people killed in suspected terrorist attacks in Burkina Faso. Hello and welcome to Trust News Update. I'm Dashin Husseina Usman. And now the news in detail. Senator George Akume has taken up his duties as the Secretary to the Government of the Federation. This follows the swearing-in of the former Benue State Governor by President Bola Tinubu at about 11:16 a.m. on Wednesday at the Council Chambers of the State House, Abuja. The new SGF described his appointment as an honor and promised to do his best to make Nigerians proud. Kende Amodu reports.
Dignitaries, including serving and former governors, are attending this ceremony as Senator Akume takes his oath of allegiance and oath of office. Senator Akume has served as former governor of Benue State and former minority leader in the House of Representatives. But despite his years serving in key positions, he still sees this appointment as Secretary to the Government of the Federation, SGF, as a big honor, and he is promising that he will not let Nigerians down.
To have been selected to serve in this exalted position, out of over 200 million Nigerians, is a challenge to serve in line with the oath I have taken today, a few minutes ago. I assure Nigerians I will do my best. I will not disappoint the president. I will not disappoint this country. I will not disappoint my party. I believe Nigerians will find fulfillment in my responsibilities as I discharge them in their own interest.
Apparently, it is a big deal to its citizens that Benue State has been singled out to produce the SGF.
It's a factor of exaltation. Out of the many states, Benue is chosen, and it's one of our sons whom we're all proud of. We know his requisite. We know what he has offered in the past many decades for the state and for the nation. We're very confident, too confident, that he's also going to deliver, and the nation is going to be proud that our choicest man from the state is selected and sworn in for this great job.
My husband is a very hard-working man, very humble, kind, compassionate. He relates with people very well. And I know this time too, he will do the best.
Senator Akume is the 21st person to serve as SGF since the office was set up in 1961, 62 years ago. From State House, Abuja, Kehinde Amodu, Trust TV News.
President Bola Tinubu is holding his maiden meeting with governors of the 36 states of the Federation under the aegis of the Nigeria Governors Forum at the State House, Abuja. In attendance at the meeting, which started around 12:36 p.m., are governors from 25 states, while the deputy governors of Edo and Niger represented their states. The governors who were conspicuously missing before the start of the meeting are governors of Katsina, Kaduna, Gombe, Borno, Cross River, Akwa Ibom, Anambra, Ekiti, Sokoto, and Ondo states. Vice President Kashim Shettima and the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, George Akume, were equally at the meeting. On security, bandits have threatened to kill the remaining abducted farmers from Kafinkoro, Kwagana, and adjoining communities in Paikoro local government area of Niger State if ransom is not paid. Two of the victims were released to inform the relations of the rest of the abductees of their decision to kill them if ransom is not paid. The coordinator, Justice, Development and Peace Commission, Catholic Diocese of Minna, Reverend Father Bahago Dauda Musa, who has been in touch with the affected communities since the incident, told Trust TV that the victims, including women, are being tortured by bandits. In a 16-minute video released by the bandits after 4 of the victims were released, one of the bandits in military camouflage uniform shot 2 men on the foot while the remaining victims screamed. The House of Representatives wants an urgent investigation into killing in Maraban Jama'ah Okaru in Plateau State. A motion sponsored by Honorable Bagos stated that citizens have complained in the past of harassment by security personnel at checkpoints. Bagos said there was unrest at a security checkpoint in Maraban Jama'ah Voi Kuru on Monday between the security operatives and some of his constituents who were on their way from a funeral. The lawmakers said clashes between residents of the area and security operatives has become a regular occurrence.
Further aware that on their way back from the mortuary heading to church for funeral service, the same security personnel stopped them at the checkpoint, denying them right of access, while some youths on bike came down to plead with the personnel. One among the personnel shot 2 of the youths, thereby killing one 18-year-old, Mr. Kenneth Gyang, and injured one Emmanuel Pam. The victims were among the mourners conveying corpse from Zawang to Kuru for burial. Concerned that after the security personnel started shooting sporadically, thereby making people abandon their businesses and vehicles in search for safety.
Still on security, police in Abia State say a team of security agents have rescued a Chinese national abducted in the state recently. The command's public relations officer, Assistant Superintendent of Police Maureen Chinaka, confirmed the release on Wednesday. He said that the Chinese national Li Peiying, abducted on May 31, was rescued by a joint security team on Monday. Peiying, who was the site manager of a quarry in Lokbanta, Umuneochi local government area, was driving in a Caterpillar without security escort when he was abducted. Chinaka said the joint security team had sustained a manhunt for the abductors. Fuel subsidy removal is taking a toll on commuters and business owners as many Nigerians express divergent opinions on the removal by the Bola Tinubu administration. Trust TV's Kabir Lawal speaks to Abuja residents on how they are coping with the rising price of basic necessities. The report.
The subsidy removal was announced by President Bola Tinubu during his inaugural speech on Monday, May 29th. And almost immediately, 4 queues sprang up in the nation's capital, Lagos, and other places. Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation Limited followed this up 250%, pump price increase 48 hours later.
Prices of products and services have more than tripled, and the average Nigerians are finding it difficult to live.
Business owners called on the relevant authorities to provide palliatives that will cushion its ripple effect.
The
subsidy has made us to have low patronage, which is affecting our businesses badly. If the removal of the subsidy will cushion the effect of our sufferness, it will go a long way to make us smile, and prices of things will reduce for the betterment of the masses.
Then I also try my possible best also to reduce my cost of operation. Before we do run on gen, but due to the increase in fuel prices and if we run on gen, to go back to the customers, the high cost. So decide to just stop running on gen and run on electricity strictly.
I used to make more sales before the pronouncement of the removal of subsidy. Now, the market is a ghost of itself, thereby making it difficult for me to put food on the table for my family. We are appealing to government to do the needful to make our market robust and more efficient the way it used to be. Public analysts are, however, optimistic about the government's action, saying the subsidy removal will make more resources available to the government.
There will be every need for you to also review the wages, salaries of the workers. So for a start, I've had to cut down the number of working days in my office from 5 working days to 3 working days. Now that is like an immediate measure to reduce the suffering on the part of my staff.
Residents in Abuja called on the government to do the needful to cushion the effect on the masses. Kabir Lawal, Trust TV News, Abuja.
It has been estimated that 5 trillion pieces of plastic waste are laying on over 360 million square kilometers land and ocean globally, with Africa constituting the highest burden of plastic pollution. This was disclosed by an environmental expert of the Department of Environmental Management Technology of the Abubakar Tafawa Balewa University, Bauchi. Trust TV's Adamu Imam reports.
With the theme, Solution to Plastic Pollution, environmental experts say the amount of effect of plastic materials are causing havoc on the natural environment, leading to long-term devastation on plants, animals, and humans. They said currently both individual and corporate bodies are depositing large amounts of unnatural materials into the environment, particularly agricultural soil, without understanding the negative effect of such action.
Public. And this plastic creates a lot of problem to the environment, more especially to the soil. Our communities are agrarian in nature, so it has effect on the soil. It also has effect. It's one of the causes of flooding, because the plastic waste that have been discarded normally block the drainages, and when it rains heavily, it now causes flooding. It also have a hazardous effect with regard to the air.
With that, we can be able to fight poverty with that. Because if we can now take at least 50% of the plastic thrown into the public, into the environment, then we can be able to generate nothing less than like 2.5 trillion US dollars. Then with that can be reinjected, can be unleashed and be reinjected into the economy. And that will now create a lot of values. So that is why, yes, we can be able to use, because that is what some people are now even saying. You can turn problem into an opportunity. So plastic, yes, is a problem, but at the same time, we can now utilize it and fight for what? Because once we attach value to it, then people will go into it.
In the same vein, students embark on awareness creation on the importance of waste to wealth.
The theme of this year is well chosen because of the impact, the negative impact plastic waste has been playing in our environment, the negative impact. So the rate at which we are generating plastic waste is becoming unbecoming, and we need to reverse it. So if not, the planet Earth might go into extinction.
You see plastics, papers, just as you see in our school, we pack everything, we pack them, put them inside trash. Some sell them and some burn them there. So I would like to advise my parents, my sisters, my colleagues, and everybody that we should try and adapt to this thing so that we'll be packing everything in our environment.
According to Adewale, the idea to celebrate the day is by encouraging the younger generation to global sanitation as well as development of schools' environment and their communities. Adam Imam, Trust TV News, Bauchi.
No fewer than 108 Nigerians stranded in Tripoli, Libya, have been received by the National Emergency Management Agency. This is contained in a statement by the agency on Wednesday in Lagos. Mustafa Ahmed, Director General LEMA, who officially received the returnees on behalf of the federal government, said that the returnees comprise 52 males, 46 females, 4 male children, 2 female children, and 5 infants. Ahmed, who was represented by Mr. Ibrahim Farinloye, Lagos Territorial Office Coordinator, said that the returnees arrived at the Murtala Muhammad International Airport Cargo Wing, Ikeja, late Tuesday evening. You're watching Trust News Update. Coming up after the break, we take a look at tips to avert gas cylinder explosion. Do stay with us.
Trust TV, documenting the Nigerian story.
Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. You're still watching Trust News Update. Here's a recap of our top stories. We told you that President swears in Akume as SGF. Tinubu holds first meeting with Nigeria Governors Forum. We also told you that fear grips Niger community as abductors of farmers threaten to kill captives. Moving to other stories, domestic gas users have a cause to smile as price of cooking gas is beginning to crash. Prices are recording substantial reduction from the beginning of June in most locations in the country. Zainab Araye speaks to customers on how they feel about the development. The report.
The importance of cooking gas to every household is well known. It is essentially what most families depend on for domestic uses. Until recently, the price of cooking gas has been going outreach. It, however, began to crash this month with many Nigerians happy about the reduction. Some Abuja residents said the price reduction came at the time people need it, adding that it will go a long way in making life easy for ordinary Nigerian.
At least
I can afford my own kg that I want to buy than buying fuel. At least it's okay.
Just as we are about feeling the heat of the PMS, Premium Motor Spirit, this particular LPG came down. So we hope all of this product will, moving forward with the assurances we are getting from government, all of this product comes down.
Domestic gas sellers explain that they buy at a relatively lower price and therefore nothing will stop them from selling it to people at lower price.
Mostly, LPG prices used to determine with the price of AGO, because most of LPG trucks, they were using AGO for their transport, that is diesel. So the price of AGO started coming down for over 6 months ago. So since that time when this AGO prices started coming down, then LPG prices start coming down. But with this recent days, we have seen a massive decrease in these LPG prices. Together with this AGO, as I told you before, it determines with the AGO prices.
Before now, 12.5 kilogram is sold at over 10,000 naira, but now is sold as low as 8,000 naira. Zainab Garaye, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Meanwhile, gas cylinder explosions has in recent time been a source of security concern to many Nigerians. When it occurs, it creates panic and suspicion that an improvised explosive device may have been planted by suspected terrorists. Abdurrahman Umar speaks with critical stakeholders on tips that can be used to avert gas cylinder explosions in the country. The report.
Gas cylinders. Over 4 million of them exist in homes across Nigeria. The government estimates that over 1.8 million of them may have exceeded their lifespan, but are still being used daily, raising the risk of explosions with possible loss of life and property. Gas cylinders explosion may be restricted to the business premises of retailers, but due to the increased usage across households in the country, incidents of domestic gas accidents do occur. The question many are asking is why Nigerians are not adhering to safety procedures in the use of gas. Could it be because gas cylinders being used in our homes are substandard or expired? Taso Ogunwem is the Director of Product Certification of the Standard Organization of Nigeria, SON, and he attested to the fact that some gas cylinders imported into the country have passed their lifespan.
If you are buying a cylinder, look at the bottom of it, the date is coded on it. So if you calculate and it's more than 15 years, start getting worried. If it is more than 30 years, it's even the worst. That is, if you see it up to 30 years, it has been revalidated and it's becoming weaker. So if you are buying a cylinder, lift it up, look at the bottom, it's coded there.
Amunusan is a gas cylinder retailer for many years. He shares with us ways one can tell if a cylinder is actually substandard. Anytime you cook, make sure you are cleaning the gas cylinder. When you go for gas refill, make sure they are checking it out for leaking. Also, sometimes you might notice a rust from the bottom of the gas cylinder due to water, which might cause the leakage. It is important to always notice such things before using the gas cylinder or after you finish using the gas cylinder. It's important to watch out from the bottom for the rust and for the leakage. Public Relations Officer of the FCT Fire Service, Ibrahim Mohammed Tawhid, says penalties exist for anyone not adhering to the rules and regulations set out for gas cylinder usage.
Most of their wrongdoings had to do with when they are not following the safety rules or safety guides being given to them. So we do, and we have a unit that is saddled with that responsibility. We call it Fire Enforcement Code Units. So that one, when they enforce that these are the rules, they will go there and enforce the rules and seal them off if they are found wanting.
Domestic consumption of cooking gas is now common, and caution is more required in how it is handled at home. Abdurrahman Umar, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Away from Nigeria, 21 persons, most of them members of the security forces, have been killed in Burkina Faso in attacks by suspected jihadists on Wednesday. According to reports, the incident occurred during an operation to rescue the Sawenga area in central eastern Burkina Faso, in which more than 50 terrorists were neutralized in an airborne counterattack. Reports say many locals had already fled into Ivory Coast because of jihadist incursions. Statistics by UN's refugee agency shows that Ivory Coast currently hosts around 18,000 Burkinabe refugees, more than double the number in 2022. Burkina Faso is struggling with a jihadist insurgency that swept in from neighboring Mali in 2015. And finally, in sports, Bayelsa Queens got their first 3 points in the Nigeria Women Football League Super 6 playoffs with a slim win over Robo Queens at Stephen Keshi Stadium in Asaba, Delta State. The Prosperity Ladies earned a 1-0 victory to keep their title defense alive while ending the campaign for Robo Queens, who have lost consecutive games, including their first encounter against Rivers Angels. Sebastian Flourish scored the only goal of the game for Bayelsa in the 57th minute. The win takes Bayelsa Queens equal on points with Rivers Angels in Group A, pending the second round games. And with that, we've come to the end of Trust News Update. Don't forget to follow us across all our social media platforms. I'm Darshan Hussaina Usman. Thanks for watching.